Leader of the third party.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Haida, good people. I am grateful for the honour to speak on behalf of the Green Caucus on this momentous and historic day. And I want to start by acknowledging all of the leaders who got us here, the Haida leaders, the Indigenous leaders who are gathered here, the non-Indigenous leaders, the leaders in government, and as was acknowledged by my colleague, the leaders in staff. It has taken an enormous amount of leadership to get us to this day, to this moment, and this is the way of people working together. We're gathered on the lands of the Lekwungen peoples, the Songhees and Esquimalt First Nations. The Haida Nation has a long history with the people of these lands. Temporary village sites were filled with Haida as trading took place. The intricate networks of communities along the coast of what we now call British Columbia, Washington, and Alaska were rich with the exchange of language, foods, art, and songs. The connections these coastal nations have to the lands, waters, and their neighbors are inspiring. I think of a Haida phrase often shared with me by my colleague Rose Williams. All these things are related, and we need each other to survive. The Council of the Haida Nation was formed by the Haida community in 1974 in response to the growing need to protect their lands and waters from degradation and exploitation. The CHN is governed by elected representatives, hereditary chiefs, and matriarchs, and is informed by traditional Haida law. By passing the Haida Nation Recognition Act, the BC government officially recognized the CHN as the government of the Haida Nation. During the passage of the bill last year, the legislature felt, as it does today, notably different. The drumming, the singing, the beautiful regalia, Haida elders, young children made what can feel like the cold marble walls of this place as a room that bounces and is filled with life. As I stood alongside my colleague, the MLA for Saanich North and the Islands during the passage of the bill, the joy and pride in the House was palpable. And today I feel the same feeling of hope and pride. Haida title has always existed. The Haida have and will continue to be the rightful heirs to Haida Gwaii. Accompanied with title comes the responsibility to uphold Haida laws and values. The first paragraph in the Haida Nation Constitution, translated in both Haida Kil and Hudkil, reads as follows, quote, "The Haida Nation is the rightful heir to Haida Gwaii. Our culture is born of respect and intimacy with the land and sea and air around us. Like the forests, the roots of our people are intertwined such that the greatest troubles cannot overcome us. We owe our existence to Haida Gwaii. The living generation accepts the responsibility to ensure that our heritage is passed on to following generations. On these islands, our ancestors lived and died, and here too, we will make our homes until called away to join them in the great beyond." I'm going to share some of my colleagues' words. Rose Williams, O Takinjad. "We are a nation of fighters and survivors. I am the first generation in my family to not attend residential school. If it were up to the state, I would not be here at all. And neither would any one of us Haida, yet we have survived. Guided by the voices of our ancestors and propelled by our responsibility to protect the lands, waters, and all living things on Haida Gwaii, we have not only survived, but thrived. I reflect on our resilience and resistance, which has carved the space for us to be here today. The standoff at Lyell Island has become famous around the world. Haida stood strong at the foot of old-growth logging on Athli Gwaii, standing up for Haida law and rights. My relatives were arrested at Asligwai, and more have been arrested at countless standoffs between extractive industries and the protectors of the land. We know that moving forward to ensure our great-grandchildren can flourish, we must operate differently. Extraction with no end and financial wealth with no cap will starve this world of all the beauty and choke our future on this earth. Now, more than ever, we must find a way to live in concert with the lands, waters, and air that we depend on. Everything depends on everything else, and we must find a way to harmonize our ways of being with a future of abundance and yakudang, respect for all living things. This legislation is significant. When I finally read the Haida title and lands agreement in its entirety at the end of March, my eyes found it difficult to focus, as my vision was blurred with tears. We have fought for so long to exercise our sovereignty, our rights, and our place on Haida Gwaii. It is an honor to witness this, finally, Haida title. I have so much gratitude for my nation and the great work that has been done to get here. I celebrate the work of this province in recognizing the vital role we have in governance and stewardship. We will continue to uphold Haida law and fight to protect the lands and waters which make us Haida. Thank you, Rose, for sharing your words today and your wisdom with us all days. We are so blessed to have Rose as a colleague. You are a leader in our caucus and in this legislature and in this world that needs leadership rooted in what is real: land, family, community, culture, connection, and vision. This legislation shows what is possible in this province and in this country. The work and dedication of the Haida Nation shows that we can shape an entirely new tapestry of governance in this province. They have already inspired countless nations and communities across the country and around the world. We celebrate the province for bringing this legislation forward, and most importantly, we celebrate and honor the hard work and dedication of the Haida Nation. They have stewarded their lands and waters for millennia and have fought for their inherent rights to continue to do so in the future. We look forward to seeing the next steps. Hawa.